In this episode, James has decided to capitalise on the success of Mr. Spitz and Miss Swallows by making their very own action figures. So, let's check it out. I'm going to show you how you can make your very own Mr. Spitz and Miss Swallows models. But best of all, it's going to use something that you probably have loads of due to a global pandemic. Ooh, discarded surgical masks. Toilet roll. Oh, toilet roll. Of course, why did I not think of that? I know, it's because I didn't panic buy toilet roll like a moron. Okay, so the first thing we need is a tub of water, and the second thing is some toilet roll. So I've taken mine off the roll already, and I'm just going to, throw it in. Yeah, just bung it in. Hopefully you can see that this toilet paper is pretty much dissolved, okay, into a kind of pulp. Yep, that's pretty much dissolved, yeah. So all the toilet paper we used has condensed down to this. Now we're going to make two models, so I'm just going to kind of go and divide this kind of in half. Obviously, Mr. Spitz is a bit bigger than Miss Swallows. Obviously. Okay, so after a fair bit of modelling and making sure that the toilet roll still maintains a high degree of moisture, we've been able to get Miss Swallows and Mr. Spitz. Now we have to let it dry in a well-ventilated and preferably sunny place. Good luck with that, James. You live in Scotland. Once these are dry, you will notice that they are solid, but they still are very lightweight and delicate, so you still need to be careful with them. This is quite interesting. It seems to be like a papier-mâché kind of thing, but without glue. So this is Mr. Spitz, and I'm just going to colour him in purple. Okay, so I've now got my Mr. Spitz and Miss Swallows. I know someone who's going to be losing marks for their colouring in. I'm now just going to give them some faces. Just take a black marker here. So as you can see here, I've drawn them both with smiley faces because I'm going to be displaying these and I don't really want them to look all depressed. Doesn't want them to be depressed. Right, so for the legs and arms, what I've got is a paper clip that I'm going to attach to the back of this. You could of course also, while this is still wet, insert that into the model and then it will dry in. I've decided to add the legs later. Decided to add them later, or did you forget to add them earlier? And there you have Mr. Spitz and Miss Swallows. Look, in the original story of Mr. Spitz and Miss Swallows, they both had hair, and yet in your models, they both do not have hair. Don't judge me for making things out of toilet roll. Don't judge me for making things out of toilet roll. Oh, believe me, James, everybody's going to be judging you on this. I mean, I'm even judging you right now. I know you think I'm crazy and I know you think I'm mad, but that's okay because we're all allowed to be a little bit crazy in this world. I mean, here's the thing, we're all just a little bit different. It's what's called personality, right? We've all got different personalities. I mean, are you really so small-minded that you can't really see that we all have these different personalities? I mean, how come you can look at animals like cats or dogs and all that and kind of go, oh look, they're all cute, they've all got their own tiny little personalities, and you revel in it. In fact, you even tell your friends and your family about it because you kind of go, isn't that amazing that these tiny creatures that I invite into my home actually have different personalities? In fact, you might even go online and seek out these videos of the cats and the dogs and other animals and kind of go, wow, look at the variety, look at the unbelievable difference between them all. I'm pretty sure nobody does that. But guess what? Human beings, right, have exactly the same thing. We all have our own individual personalities, and yet so many people don't revel in it. I mean, why not revel in it? It would be amazing, right? If aliens came to this planet from another world and came down to ours, right, they would go, oh my god, look at all these little humans. They've all got their own little individual personalities. Look at how different they are. And they would revel in it. And sure, we've all got lots of things that are the same, but everything that makes us different is so much more interesting. I mean, when I look at the Olympics, you know what I see? I don't know, a big sporting competition that you'll never compete in? I don't see lots of people from different countries. I see people who are weird and, strange and doing lots of weird and wonderful things, right? I would never ever consider, right, in my entire life trying to perfect running 100 meters. Running 100 meters quicker than anybody else. I mean, who really gives a shit about that? I know I don't, but here's the thing, right? People do. Some people on this planet actively spend their entire lives trying to perfect the 100 meters. I agree, those people are weird. Right? And when I saw in 2008 Usain Bolt running faster than anybody had ever run before in the history of humanity, I thought, wow, how amazing. That really weird human being has done something amazing. And I reveled in it for ages. I reveled in it because he had achieved not only personal victory, but had achieved victory for all of us. Because that's the thing. When one of us succeeds, we all succeed. Our weirdness leads to greatness, and our weirdness is what makes us different. And what makes us different allows us to achieve different things. And when we achieve different things, all of us benefit. And I know you want to all be homogenized and stuff, but guess what? I don't want to be like milk. I don't want to be homogenized. Yeah, I don't want to be like milk either. I want to be unique and different. And here's the thing, right? I am unique. Oh, you are certainly unique. Different to everybody else on this planet, right? And guess what? So are you. You're totally different. Everything that makes me different also weirdly makes you different. So where I differ is where you differ from me, and that's amazing. And if nobody's ever told you this before, I'm telling you now, right? You're weird. You're unique. You're strange and odd and peculiar and, well, all those things. And before you think that, you're an oddball and that you don't fit in, guess what? You do fit in, right? Because the thing is that you're really not that different. You're actually pretty much almost exactly the same as everybody else. The amount of difference that you actually are is so minuscule it's almost unnoticeable, right? At a glance, you wouldn't notice that a cat was, any different to any other cat, because guess what? They all eat cat food, right? All cats eat cat food. They're exactly the same. They all play with string, and they're all self-obsessed little creatures, right? But guess what? When you spend a little bit of time with them, you invest in that moment. You realize that they're actually all just a tiny bit different. And with human beings, we're exactly the same, right? So as much as we are the same, we're also different. And anyone who's ever achieved anything on this planet has been different. And I think that's pretty amazing. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and I'm glad to stand on the shoulders of people who are different. And I'm glad to carry that torch and be a little bit different, even if it means making things out of toilet roll. So don't judge me for making things out of toilet roll. Don't judge me for making things out of toilet roll. In every episode I've ever seen of yours, I've always been kind of content in the fact that at least there's one person in the world who likes what you do, and that's you. But after having watched this, I'm not even convinced that you like this episode. You had to write a song where the opening line was, "Don't judge me for making things out of toilet roll." Just how bad do you think it is? Look at your models, right? If you compare them to your original drawings, right? A, you haven't coloured them in properly, and B, you haven't even given them hair. It's like you didn't even use them as a reference, it's crazy, right? You have this kind of idea about how to do papier-mâché but without glue, which is interesting. And, I also have to hand it to you, I guess, where, I've never seen an action figure that actually looked like what it was meant to. So, I guess you've also encapsulated that. But I don't think that's what you were intending to do. I think you were really trying to make it look, like your drawings. But you didn't put the effort in. And okay, yeah, you've done this beat poem that's kind of interesting, that's maybe even motivational, but it's just trying to cover up the bad job that you did on your models, your action figures. So, I can only give this an incredibly low mark. 2 out of 10.